Hey everyone, it's Anthony from the Board Game Nexus. Welcome to another episode of the Board Game Crowdfunding Roundup for week ending May 1st. We're going to cover games that are ending within the next week, games that are launching, or that have launched this past week, and games that will be launching in the following week. So I think this week we will start out with games that are actually ending, jump right into it. Games that are ending within this next week, right? Things that you need to go check out before they're over, before they're gone. So these are games that were, if you've watched last week's episode, you probably already saw coverage on. So this should probably be pretty quick. But the first one we're going to jump into is called Nightbreak. Competitive card game for 2 to 4 players, featuring a day and night resource system. I remember covering this one. We are funded at $13,260 of an $11,800 goal, with 53 backers and 5 days to go. So Nightbreak. So this is your, I don't know if it's your standard, but it's call it that. It's your standard competitive hero-based fantasy card game where you are sitting across the table from your opponent. You're playing out hero cards. You are applying status effects to them. You are attacking each other. Day and night cycles change, and I think it kind of triggers abilities and stuff like that. I think basically what I said was this is not one of my favorite sort of genre of board games or card games are these 2-player competitive card battle systems. They're fun to a degree, but not really. At least Francis and I don't really play them. So, but there's definitely a lot of people who do enjoy these. This one's funded, 53 backers. The art looks decent on it. I mean, it looks like it's well put together. It's just not something that would be for us. But hey, if you are into these sort of, combat-y 2-player to 4-player card games, then yeah, it looks interesting enough. So what's the buy-in on this one? Let's see, $39 for the core set. Not a bad price point. You've got 5 days to figure out whether or not this one is for you. That is Nightbreak. Go check it out. Next one is called Kazuni. Now, Kazuni is not one that we covered. This is a supply chain game, right? 2 to 4 player strategy game during the peak of the Industrial Revolution. Each player tries to be the first to supply a city with what it needs to thrive, right? So you're building supply chain in this sort of like boxy, I guess it's like a crate type game where you're shipping goods and all that fun stuff when it comes to supply chain. I guess we could use somebody who's got some good skills in supply chain in this country, that's for sure. $7,800 out of $31,416. Not funded at this point, even though it has 136 backers. 5 days to go. You are at less than a quarter funded here, so probably not going to happen, unfortunately. We are looking at a $60 buy-in on this game, maybe because there's a lot of wood with regards to the meeples, but I think maybe where this, I'm just trying to see where this campaign kind of flipped up, right? I don't think that this, first of all, I don't think this board really shows enough of what's going on. It looks really too plain, so it's hard to tell from these images what's actually happening. This looks very simplistic. The meeples look cool. I think they definitely add a lot to it, but I think if you guys don't fund, you might want to think of presenting this in a little bit better fashion so that there's a lot more visibility on what's happening here and a little bit more about the gameplay, how the components look, the board up close, so we can see what these components look like and what this art looks like, because it's a little too thin for a $60 game in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know, it just looks too plain for me, even up here. But you definitely need to give those pictures down here more. But anyway, Kazuni doesn't look like it's funding. Go check it out. Probably too late to save this one, but it is what it is. Next one, DiceWar, The Way to Roll. A war-style dice rolling action card playing battle to the final point. $17,935 out of $10,000 goal. 311 backers. This thing is funded with 5 days to go. DiceWar, huh? Just roll the best dice combination around. That's how to win points. But the thing is, any roll could be ruined or obliterated or flat out disrespected. So This looks like one of those take thatty games where everybody's got cards that hurt you. And you know, if you're in a big group of people, it's it can be fun if you're in a group that's like pretty take thatty. But it's a simple dice game, you know what I mean? Looks really simplistic. Definitely not for me. But it definitely worked out for 311 people to get it over the finish line, to get this thing funded. So definitely a party game, something that you'd want to look at if you're into really playing these type of nasty cards on your friends while they're rolling dice. So, but not for me. What's the buy-in on this bad boy? $19. See, that's the I'll get you the base game. So that is the impulse buy price that we always talk about, $20, which is why it funded. Like, there it is. Like, it's not hard. If you can get it under the price point and the game is kind of small box, you're probably safe. As long as it looks good. And the quality looks good on it. It's just not for me. Sorry. Maul Peak. We covered Maul Peak last time. 108,000 out of 20 grand goal. Well funded. 2,091 backers with 3 days left. This thing is looking good. We talked about this last time. This is a follow-up to Skull Hollow, which we played on our channel. Really enjoyed that game. So no surprise to me that this one is funded for sure. Great art, good looking components. Skull Hollow was a lot of fun. No doubt this is going to be equally as fun. Not surprised here. So that's Maul Peak. You got 3 days if you haven't backed it yet and you're interested. Highly recommend you check this one out for sure. Silicon Valley, $21,000 and $11,000 goal, 383 backers. Now, this is by the tiny epic designer Scott Alms. Interesting. A mix of polyomino and economics. Seems interesting. Looks a little bland with the art. I think, not really sure what's going on here. I guess you're placing tiles. There's some hidden information for your company. I mean, I don't know. It looks interesting. I you know what? I'd probably play this just because I think the theme interests me. It's got a solo mode. It just looks a little dry, but I'm sure it could be fun. Not a big fan of banknotes. I like coins, or like metal coins, or I'm just not fake Monopoly money. That's really not my thing. But interesting. I mean, it looks okay. I'd give it a shot. I think the art style is pretty cool. I think they should have brought a little bit more of that down into the game itself. But in any case, it's funded. It's funded at 21 grand. So, would I back it? What's the buy? 39 Aussie or $28 US? Yeah, this is an insta for me. That hits the price point. That hits the price point for me. So I'd go for this one. Silicon Valley, I would give this one a go. At that price, no question. Surprised it didn't fund higher than that, but you have 3 days to go check it out. I say look into this one. The price is good. Solid designer. I think you should look at this one. Barnyard, a bifold game. We talked about this one. I was not a fan of the art of this at all. 5,000. They funded 5,000 out of $4,000 goal. 209 backers. 6 days left. Still, I just thought this was just such a simplistic looking game. Maybe it'd be fun for kids, but you know, we talked about this one, and I don't really have anything more to say on it. So it funded though. 2-player card game. I just really wish they went a little bit harder on the art, but hey, what works, right? Okay. Legacy of Thracks: The Awakening. So we covered this one. I was worried about this one making it past the finish line, but it did. It crossed 52,000 out of 50,000 goals, 730 backers 6 days ago. I thought this one looked really good. Really solid art, really solid minis. Looked like it could be a lot of fun. We covered this one. Character development, area control, high level player interaction, Sundance. So miniatures on a board, area control, strategy, Ameris style, sandbox adventure with clever Euro resource management. That's, to me, that combination, like an Ameritrash Euro style game. I think if somebody can really find that blend and come out with something that just hits it on all cylinders for that blend. I know Awakened Realms does a pretty good job of it, but I think like they're still waiting for that one that's just like so rich in theme, so rich in in Euro mechanics, and they kind of really just blend. So you feel like you're playing a story, but there's that tenseness of the Euro resource management. I think if you could find that combination, that would be the winner. That would win. That would win the internet, the board gaming internet. But Legacy of Thracks, I think this one definitely I thought was pretty interesting looking. $80 pledge. I think that's about right for this, considering what you have. But it's funded, so I say why not? Go check it out. You have 6 days left. All right. Kangchenjunga, the game, a simple but clever game, recreating the race to reach a Himalayan mountaintop. Interesting, very plain art style. This is weird. It's a game for 2 to 5 players. It takes 20 minutes, based on a 1930 Himalayan adventure which ultimately failed to climb the 3rd highest peak of the world. Uses original photos and draws from this book written almost 100 years ago, right? I mean, I think thematically, it's really cool. I like that they use the original art. I don't know how the game plays though, and at £15, $20 US, I think it's worth the bet to see if it's good, right? $20. It's worth it. 1,500 out of 650 gold, 50 backers. I think this would be a gamble for me. Looking at it, it kind of looks like a print and play, to be honest. But I think they could have went a little bit harder on the components here. But I guess if you want to keep the price low, that makes sense. But the buy-in's pretty cheap. I think this is a gamble, but not an expensive one. So if it's good, I think you made out on your $20 investment. But if it's bad, you won't have to regret it for too long. I think it's worth it. I think this one is interesting. So that's Kangchenjunga, the game. You have 40 hours. So if you're really thinking about this one, you better move on it. For Northwood, we covered this last week as well. This was that cute little card game. It was a trick-taking game. So we talked about this. $15. Buy-in is no-brainer. I say if you like trick-taking games, you should already be pledged on this one. 30,000 out of $3,000 goal. 7 days left. This is an easy one. I say go check it out. If you like trick-taking games, I would definitely. It's a solo trick-taking game. That's pretty cool. Really cool. I think you should go check that out. So for Northwood. And now it's on Gamefound, by the way. Paradox Initiative, another one we covered last week. 47,000, 8 out of 30. I'd like to see some of these games funded because I had a lot of interest in them. 870 backers. You got 6 days left on this one. This was that cool one where you like sort of manipulating these little, I don't know if these are, but they're symbols, and then they mess with the board, and then it sort of like creates these time paradoxes, and you travel between these different dimensions, and you bring people in from these other dimensions, or aliens rather. It seemed really neat. I thought it was really, really cool, and I was certainly interested at $39. I think it's definitely something worth looking at. It looks like it's well put together. This is another one I recommend doing more research on because this one interests me as well. So Paradox Initiative, go for that one. Aldarra is a fast-paced 4X combat-focused strategy game with 152 huge minis and buckets of dice in an expansive world. Look, 4X games are hit or miss. This one's pretty. Looks very crowded, so you're definitely going to get in each other's faces, doing all sorts of combats and exterminating and exploiting and exploring and all that stuff, which I think is pretty cool. And this one looks like it's got a pretty nice theme. Randomized maps, which is cool. Tons of dice. If you like dice chucking, this is your, I don't know, this reminds me of like Twilight Imperium looking, which is like a bunch of massive ships on a board. I guess maybe that's what they're going for, but they're like airships. It's pretty cool. Hey, if you're into combat 4X games, this one's probably a go for. Base game is $135, so that's a pretty big buy-in, but you have a ton of minis from the looks of it. So for 90 to 180 minutes for just massive war game. But it looks cool. If you're into it, go for it. It's a big buy-in, but 278,000 to 200. That's a lot of money. 1,497 backers. I think a lot of people like these 4X games, which is surprising. but I don't know. Maybe not. Won't get into that. But Aldarra, 6 days to go. If you're into the 4X, minis on a board with a bunch of dice, I say go look at it. Could be one for your collection. Next up and final, this is the last thing that's coming to a close. The Origin Season 2 Gaming Coffee Table. 255 backers, are almost 400 grand. 5 days left. Looks like a pretty successful campaign. We have the original Origins gaming table, which looks like one of these. I think it's not the coffee table; it's the full size table, like one of those. We love it. Yeah, it's actually this one right here. We love the table. It's sturdy as all get out. We do all our filming on this table. We've done videos on it before, so we're big fans of this of the Origins gaming tables. I know they've made a lot of changes recently to address some of the complaints that people had. Coffee table, I think if you're someone who plays in your living room, I would do it. If we didn't have little kids running around grabbing pieces to try to put them in their mouth, we'd probably be all over this, but we just can't play in the living room anymore because of little ones. But otherwise, I wish I could. So that's it. Just go 5 days. If you're in the market for a table, definitely go check this out. No question. That wraps up everything we have for campaigns ending within the next week, right? So before May 1st. And we're going to be ready to move on to the next segment. So these are games that are launching or that have launched this past week. So everything that just went live. We'll cover that in a second. All right, so kicking off games that went live last week. First one up is Castles by the Sea. Now remember, some of these may be in the grouping of games that we covered last week that were coming in the upcoming week. And the problem is we don't have a net wide enough to cast and get every single game that's coming. So we know that we'll catch it at some point in this series. As long as we're diligent about doing it every Friday, we'll get it either before it launches, at the time it launches, or at least before it ends, right? So you'll always have 3 shots at hearing about the games, and 3 shots of catching them before their campaigns are over. So what is this one? This is a magical sandcastle building game. 1 to 4 players, 30 to 45 minutes. 66,000 out of a $35,000 goal. Already funded, 1,170 backers with 13 days still left to go. I can tell right off the bat, like this type of art style is usually winner, chicken dinner. It's just pretty. It's clean. The art on the game looks nice. It looks solid. And interesting. It's a sandcastle building game. It's something that's different. It's $45. It's pretty. Like I tell you, there's a lot that goes into the graphic art and the graphic design. When you blend the two together and it's cohesive, it really does a good job of selling your product for you. Honestly, like that's what I look at. I look at how does everything look like it ties together. Does it look like somebody did this in their basement on a colored laserjet printer? Or does it look like they actually, like took the time to work with an artist and a graphic designer to blend it together? Like, this looks like it was gone the extra mile. So in my opinion, like this looks like it could be a pretty fun game. Definitely into this one. 1 to 4 players. It's got a modular game board. You got different player boards. I don't know if that's asymmetrical, but maybe just different colored pieces. Player cards, seaweed tokens. It's pretty neat. I mean, look at that custom meeples. Like these are gorgeous. If that's the case, man, that's really, really nice. It's a spatial puzzle for 1 to 4 players. Each round you gather sand blocks and expand your kingdom, and use those blocks to build castle walls. Stake your claim. So maybe it's like area control. Maybe you're building together. There's hazards. It looks really good, honestly. Looks really good. So Castles by the Sea, I would go check that out. 13 days left. Next up, the Great Wall reprint. So we covered this last week. We covered this on our channel. We covered the Great Wall many, many times. Awakened Realms, really good. Just battle bad guys on the Great Wall of China, worker placement, resource gathering. Really fun game. Miniatures are gorgeous. Has incredible table presence. you have like these cards that upgrade your with advisors. You get these hordes that come in, and you're battling them every round. And it's just there's so many different scenarios, so many different expansions. I can't recommend this one enough. 374,000 is for a reprint, no brainer. 2,200 people didn't have it. They had their chance to buy it now. If you don't have this one, it's a good game. Good game. 12 days left on it. Buy-in is pricey. $367 for the Sundrop Collector's Bundle plus Iron Dragon. Like, that's a lot. It's a big bundle, but man, there's a lot of game in this box, let me tell you. A lot of game. So that's a Great Wall reprint. Check it out, GameFound. Anastyr. This is embark on an epic quest to save the world from the threat of Anastyr, the Queen of Dragons, so the Khaleesi, in this action-packed cooperative board game. 423, 575 out of 200, 3,000 backers. So this thing is well funded with 13 days left to go. I love the fact that it's an action-packed cooperative board game. So you're, all the players, minis versus probably a bunch of monsters on the board. 90-minute game, pretty long, but it looks beautiful. I mean, I love when they show these like painted minis and how they could look, because that makes all the difference. It showcases the quality of the sculpts, and if these are what the sculpts look like, that's pretty nice. Yeah, look at that. This is just a ton of minis. So we're looking at a core pledge of $130, $160 for the bigger dragon pledge. Look at that thing. Come on. Yeah, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful game. Yeah, I would do this one. There's no doubt. This looks pretty slick. There's so much going on here. Taming wild beast. Come on, you're taming beasts? Seriously? What? Wild horses, tamed horse. Like, come on, man. Yeah, this is legit. I would be all over this one. Yep. So this one has my go check this out now seal if you want. Anastyr. Definitely go look at this one. This one looks pretty hot. The buy-in's not too bad either. 13 days left, so you got some time. Explorers of the Woodlands is a forest-themed cooperative dice dungeon crawler. A little more on the cutesy side. Yeah, so these are forest tiles. You're revealing forest tiles. You're fighting forest monsters, rolling dice. It's like a cartoony meeple version of Super Dungeon Explorer type thing, I guess. I don't know. These are okay. I mean, there's only so many dungeon crawls I can do, as long as but it's a $31 buy-in. So if you want like a real light, looks like forest themed cooperative dungeon crawler, then this probably fits your needs. Me, I want something a little more chunky than this personally, but I think it's a pretty inexpensive game. 21,714 out of 10. It's already funded, 800 backers 17 days ago. Quality looks really good. Just I'm not sure. I mean, I might play it with my kids. They might like it. Probably a little more their speed, but there's a lot of these out there. So like, what's going to set this one apart, right? That it's going to be worth the spot in my collection. I don't know, but it's worth checking out. Explorers of the Woodlands. I go look at it. It looks good. It's just not. I'm not sure. I would be interested personally, but I think it's worth looking at for sure. Next one, Assault on Doomrock Ultimate Edition. We talked about this last time. A little more information, obviously. I have the original Assault on Doomrock, Doompocalypse. Really enjoyed that one at the time, and this one has really piqued my interest. 179 for all-in pledge. It's a lot, but I'm hoping to give you a lot of goodies with it, because the original game had a lot already packed into it, and I'm just really curious at how much they've improved on the original, because the original was good. I think it was a little finicky in certain areas, but I think for the most part it was still a fun game. I liked the intuitive combat system, but hey, you know what? I definitely think that you should, if you're into dungeon type crawler type things that are a little bit different, I definitely think you should check this one out. 145,000 out of 43. It's well funded. 17 days left. There's a lot of time. Go check this one out. I definitely recommend checking this one out, because I enjoyed the original, and I think this can only be better. So go check it out. Phraya is another one on Gamefound, and this one I found interesting. It is a new Spanish creative board game set in Thailand, which I thought was pretty interesting. Phraya. It is I don't know. It looks like a pretty Euro type game. On your turn, you must form. You play a card, you move, and you take actions. Right, so you're going down this. I guess it's like a river market, and you're resolving your card effects, and um, you've got rowers moving your boats around. Yeah, so it's like one of those like floating markets where you're going from market to market doing things. It's a beautiful game. I think it's really nice. I would definitely try this one. What's the price point on this? This is a $45. Yeah, that's right. That's a sweet spot. I think this is worth it. Definitely go check out Phraya. Looks interesting. Worker movement game, commodity speculation, pick up and deliver mechanisms. Yeah, we love pick up and deliver. I like the floating market. I like the Asian theme. Kind of hits home a little bit. But why not? Delivering restaurant orders and making offerings to temples. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think this is definitely worth checking out. 8,000 out of 10,000 gold. They've got 16 days. They will hit this. There's no question. This looks good. It looks solid. I would go check this one out for sure. That's Phraya. Next, what is this one? This is Autobahn. Yeah, I was looking at this one earlier. This one has me very interested. Economic Euro game from distinguished designers Fabio Lopiano and Nestor Mangoon. 110,000 out of 15,000. Well funded. Alley Cat Games. They do some good quality stuff. Let's see. Really cool looking wooden components. Build a service station empire, unlock new departments for scoring, promote employees, extend the Autobahn network. Man, like this looks pretty cool. This looks, I'm not gonna lie, this looks really, really cool. Road traffic mini expansion, like yeah, this is up my alley. I think we would enjoy this one a lot. What's the price point on it? $56 for retail edition and $64 for the Kickstarter exclusive. I would go for the Kickstarter exclusive for sure. Delivery this November. Done. I'm sold. Definitely would back this one personally. 110,000. Yeah, done. This looks quality. I definitely recommend go checking this out. 18 days left. This one has my interest quite a bit. Sleeping Gods Distant Skies, 1.1 million. Insane. Not surprised because the original Sleeping Gods is a super hit. We talked about this one last week. The expansion for it, no brainer. If you own it, you're getting this. That's it. There's no question. So, Red Raven, always known for their quality. No hesitation on this one in any way, shape, or form. Definitely go for it. Go check that one out. $128. Yeah, worth every penny. No questions. Lawyer Up Season 2, we covered this as well. 70,000 out of 24,000. Not surprised. Really solid looking game. We've never played Lawyer Up 1, so this one, 2-player court battle. Yeah, I am definitely interested in this one too. This is a $50 for Season 2 all in. I'm going to personally look into this one because I think this one really piques my interest to see if it's something that I want to add to our collection for sure. Really hyped on this one. I think this one seems really cool too. Lawyer Up Season 2, you've got 19 days left, as do I. All right, we talked about this one as well. Space Lion is asymmetric army battle game, right? So it's like a battle card game. Choose an army, plan and deploy units, win battles. It's a card battling game, sci-fi theme. I think the art's pretty slick. I like the theme. I like this sort of like sci-fi theme, but we told you these battle card games just aren't for us. But if you're into it, maybe you go check it out. $39.95 for the complete game, which doesn't seem terrible. But I don't know. Like I said, it's not something that I'm big on. So this is $3,900 out of 25,000. I just don't know. It's not a huge start, right? They're getting there. They got 27 days, a long campaign. We'll have to check in on this in a couple weeks and see where it's at. But you know, but who knows? It could be really cool. I don't know. I think it's worth looking at, but only if you're into this type of game. So that's Space Lion. So go check that out on GameFound. Broken and Beautiful. So this is a game, I think it came up last week. I don't remember, but we have it's one of those things where you've got this pottery where you repair the pottery with like this gold sort of paint, and it makes them like even more valuable because they've been repaired, and they have like this uniqueness to them. Really interesting. It looks very simplistic, but probably fun. I like these little card games that are kind of classy. This one definitely looks to be one of those. Price point is standard copy is $16. This is a no-brainer. 11,003 out of 8,300. No-brainer. I would go check this one out. If there's a card game I would pick up, this would be one of them for sure. Just because it's elegant. I think I like that in these games. So it's Broken and Beautiful, a game about kintsugi. Yeah, where you unique scoring mechanic for breakage and repair. Really interesting concept. Again, I'm a sucker for this Asian theme stuff, so go check it out. Really Not Safe for Grandma, a Cheer Up expansion. So it's an expansion game for the hit party game Cheer Up, right? So it's a party game. Not really my forte, but if you own Cheer Up, hey, this is for you. This is sort of I guess this is the Not Safe for Grandma, so maybe it's a dirty version of an edition. 100 additional cards that are all R-rated. Yes, this is like the grown-up version of the game Cheer Up. So look, where's the buy-in on this? $19 for the Really Not Safe for Grandma expansion. That's it. Yeah, look, if you have the original, there's probably like, I don't know why you wouldn't get it. 62 backers already figured that out. Still not quite there. 4,026 days. I think it'll make it. I'm not too worried about that one making it, but not for me. That's just something I would pass on. But if you're a party game player and you have Cheer Up, then you probably want this. Lots more fun in the box. Hydroracers. Okay, so this one I was looking at the other day. I was adding the entry to the Nexus and was doing some research on this one. It was pretty interesting. Not into racing games per se, but this like racing airplanes, these hydroplanes, look really neat, and I kind of like the. I don't know, when it comes to these like historically accurate planes and tanks and submarines and stuff like that, that really, I don't know why it piques my interest so much. Maybe I'm weird, but this is neat. I probably wouldn't play it because I'm not into racing games, but I'd love to see. I don't know. It really does pique my interest for whatever reason. I have no idea why. 64.90 just because it comes with a lot of, I guess, these minis, but I'd even like to paint these planes. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me and why this is so appealing to me, but if I was to play a racing game, this would probably be one of them, just because it's unique. The buy-in's a little high for me, but I'm definitely going to go look at it. Let's see, 8,000 out of 21,000. I hope this funds because it looks cool. It just looks neat. It looks simple, but I think there's a lot of complexity on the player boards, and I think that's what really is drawing my attention. Like if it were just this main track, that's like sort of bland, but I think there's a lot going on in your cards and in your managing your plane as it's flying, and it just seems really neat to me. I don't know. That's Hydroracers, the Schneider Trophy Epic. It's a long title. I don't know if we really needed to go with that whole long title, but in any case, that is it. That wraps up all of the games that launched, all the campaigns that launched this past week. So there's a lot of stuff on Kickstarter now. Over the next few weeks, that's going to be live. I say, go check it all out. There's a lot of good-looking stuff on here, and there's some stuff that I wasn't too interested in, but it doesn't mean you won't be. So that wraps up this segment. We've got one more part where we're going to go over games that are launching next week. All right, so next week's launches, let's start it out here. So we're not going to have a lot of information on these. We just don't typically have it. We haven't really found a stride yet where publishers are sending us everything yet. Stuff is coming in. It's just not all the information we want for all of the new Kickstarter or GameFound crowdfunding campaigns that are coming out. But it seems to be coming in though, a little more steadily, which is good. So we have this Damask. Again, we don't have a lot. So Spin Silk and Mount Beautiful Patterns, and a beautiful game by Barbara Burfoot. 1 to 4 players compete best. So your Silk Weavers and Damask. Interesting theme. Don't know how it's going to be. I have no other information on it, but we will next week. So this is coming. So this is just kind of just like a teaser for you guys, as per usual. Anunnaki, Dawn of the Gods, 4X Eurogame hybrid. So I was just talking about 4X Eurogame hybrids. Develop your alien civilization among ancient tribes and gods and space travels. That is interesting to me. Cranial Creations. This is very interesting to me. So I'm really going to look at that. Hopefully that is as good as it sounds. Next one is Dino Dodge, Survival of the Finish. Don't know what this is about, but not sure I'm like super interested in this one either. But hey, we'll find out next week what this one's all about. Uprising, Titans of the First Age. I don't know, box looks cool. Not really informed on more than this. So we're on a 2 to 4 hour play. If that's accurate, that's a little bit out of my comfort zone. So we'll learn more about that next week. Oranienburger Kanal sounds like a crazy thing, but it looks like a canal industrial game by Uwe Rosenberg. Already interested. That's about as much as I need to know about that game. That tells me I want to play it. So hopefully we get some more information on that next week. And finally, the last game here, Wayfarers of the South. Tigris. Definitely curious about this one, but I don't have any more information. But we will see. There's a lot of stuff coming that looks interesting to me, and we will have a lot more information next week. And be able to go through the campaign pages to see, what these games are all about. With that said, I think we covered just about everything. We read over 30 games today. Tons of stuff on Kickstarter and GameFound. Hope you were able to soak all of that in. Hope you're able to figure out if any of these were of interest to you. And you were, educated on something that maybe you didn't know about before that you want to go check out now before the campaign ends. But in any case, I'm Anthony from the Board Game Nexus. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next week.